Alright, well, I was just talking to the camera for like 5 minutes and it wasn't recording. Oh man. You know, it's funny because I was talking to the camera and I wasn't recording, you know? So when I talk to the camera and I am recording, at least I'm like documenting, you know? I'm talking to myself, but at least I'm like documenting it, so it's almost like I'm not talking to myself. But for the last 5 minutes, I literally have just been talking to myself. Fucking weird. Anyways, what I was talking about is my laptop died. Or it didn't die, it was really low percentage. And I revived it with this magical cord. I just plugged it in and instantly got power. Amazing, right? And I was also talking about how this dude is dope. He's got birds on a stick. Amazing. Like, both of these things are equally amazing, I would say. First of all sticks should be required to have birds on them. That's just obvious. Second, power is what drives this world. You know, we think that money drives the world, but that's not true. It's power, you know? And that means a few different things. But one of them being legit, like, electricity. Power. I want something to go. I need to put power into that thing. So with my laptop, my laptop was dying. So I plugged this into it. And it came from a socket in the wall. You know, the socket is connected through all the walls in the condominium that I am in. By the way, I'm in a condominium. Dope. Anyways, the socket is connected to a breaker box where all the other sockets are connected to, so that if there's a surge in power, things don't short out. That breaker box is probably connected to some kind of, you know, some kind of line that eventually goes to a power plant. There's probably some kind of transformer in there somewhere. Not sure if transformers are just for, I don't know, but there's definitely a lot of connections going on. And I think it's interesting to think about that kind of stuff. The power plants probably produces power with coal. You know, burning of coal. Coal was probably brought to the power plant on trucks, which are powered by gasoline. The coal probably came from a coal mine where a whole bunch of people are getting sick because they're constantly breathing in harmful toxins by mining coal all day. Probably a town around the coal mine, because typically, maybe it's just my movie watching history, but I feel like typically there's a town around a coal mine. You need a lot of people to work a coal mine. So I'm plugging this laptop in, but I'm doing more than that, if you think about it, because I'm using the power. I am kind of like, not a, I don't know what I am, but I use the power. So because I use the power, because you use the power, we need to have the power. So there needs to be the coal mine. So there needs to be the people that get sick. There needs to be the transportation of power and coal. So I'm not just plugging my laptop in. What I'm doing is killing a father, a hard-working dude who worked his entire life in a coal mine, and eventually got some kind of lung disease and he died. I'm killing a baby in the future. With all the gasoline that was burned to transport coal from A to B, from all the coal that was burned, all just to get me my little power. There's going to be a baby in the future who's not going to be able to survive because the environment won't be habitable for him. So I'm not just plugging in my laptop. I'm saying something. I'm saying I don't care. I don't care. I know that there's things and there's other ways of getting power that are more environmentally friendly and will ultimately cause less death and destruction, but I don't care. I want my power and I want it now. So I'm not just plugging in my laptop. I'm saying something about myself. I don't care. Simple as that. I don't care. I want my entertainment. I want this thing in front of me to entertain me. More so than I would ever care about the Father, about his lungs. More so than I would ever care about some baby in the future that I'll never meet. Because I want the entertainment. It's interesting to think about what you do and how it affects things. Because it's real simple to plug in your laptop. It's real simple to throw away a piece of plastic. It's real simple to eat a big ol' steak. But it's real complicated when you have to think. Well, throwing away a piece of plastic, where's it gonna go? It's plastic. It's not biodegradable. There's no for the most part, this is the end of this plastic's use. It will be stored permanently inside a big ol' hump of dirt. And we're just going to keep on doing that. Even if you try to recycle your plastic, not all of it gets recycled. In fact, most of it doesn't get recycled. Most of it is destined to be stored in a hump of dirt and just remain there for eternity unless someone does something about it. What else did I say? Oh, eating a big old slab of steak. Don't get me wrong. I love steak. I freaking love steak. I love entertainment. And I love not having to deal with all my trash. I like just throwing it away. You know? Because I don't want to be the guy that, collects all his shit and, disposes of it properly. I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be the guy that, spends thousands upon thousands of dollars on solar panels so that I can collect my energy at a, eco-friendly way. I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to spend the money. And when it comes to steak, I love steak. I like burgers. I like beef. I enjoy it. It's good tasting. But I have a burden because the way my brain works, I'm forced to think about what I'm doing and what it is doing to, what are the consequences of every little thing I do. And don't get me wrong, I still do things like plug in my laptop. I still do it. Because even though I know what it's doing, I would rather do it. I'd rather do the thing that is causing all of these bad things than be uncomfortable. But when it comes to eating a big old thing of steak, let's say we get 1 pound of steak, it's easy to eat it. In fact, it's enjoyable. But because I am the way I am and my brain works the way my brain works, I know that when it comes to the environment, eating that piece of steak is one of the worst things I could do. And it's so crazy if you think about it. Why is that true? I will tell you. I think it takes somewhere like 100 pounds of feed for every 1 pound of steak. And something like 2,000 gallons of water for every 1 pound of steak. And I'm not positive on those numbers, so I'm going to Google it, and I'm going to figure it out. How much does it take to make 1 pound of beef? Maybe that'll do it. How much water to make 1 pound of beef? That's one question. I hate these stupid frickin' vegan websites. They're so silly. 2,500 gallons. 2,500 gallons of water for 1 pound of steak. Oh my gosh. Do you realize that there is thousands of little kids every single day who die for 2 reasons, alright? I'm saying there's more than thousands of kids that die, but there's thousands of kids that die just for these 2 reasons every single day. Reason number 1, their water isn't clean. Reason number 2, they don't even have water. So when you eat that 1 pound of steak, you're effectively consuming 2,500 gallons of water. So when we talk about there's a drought in California, when we talk about the water consumption that we use, it's important to take into consideration not just literal consumption, not just the showers that you take and the things that you drink. Because if I eat 1 pound of steak, that's like taking a shower for a few hours, or taking a bath with 2,500 gallons of water. Like filling up a huge pool every single time I take a bath, and then just draining it away. So if you want to conserve, and if you want to be beneficial to the environment, why would you want to do that? I don't know, man. I don't know. It's weird, bro. I get it. It's freaking weird because you can't see it. You can't see yourself helping. Because even if you don't eat the one little thing of steak, you know, you're going to go about your day either way, and it's going to seem very similar. And that's the problem, man. That's the problem with my brain, and that's the problem with your brain. Why should you care? And that's kind of where I'm at right now, man. I want to care. I really do. But I don't want to be the guy that goes out of his way and tells everyone, hey guys, guess what? I'm a vegan. Hey, you should be a vegan because I'm a vegan and I'm cool, guys. Hey, environment. Hey, look at this. Look at me, guys. Look at me. I'm a vegetarian. I'm a vegan. I don't eat meat. Oh. I don't want to be that guy. In fact, I don't like those guys. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, then I'm happy for you because you've never experienced one of these guys. They're annoying and they suck. And I like care about the environment and stuff, whatever, but like I don't want to shove it in people's faces. But then I do. That's where the struggle happens. Because it's like, how do I get people to care without making them super uncomfortable? I mean, there's all these super awesome companies. There's like a Beyond Meat company that's making like substitute meat that like looks and supposedly tastes very similar to like a beef patty and like a thing of chicken. I heard the chicken one was like it's like undeniable. Like you can't even tell that it's not real chicken. The beef one needs some work, apparently. Just what I heard. Beyond Meat. But, you know, maybe just trick people. Just say, hey, this is meat. And, like, they'll taste it. And it tastes like meat. So then people will just be like, alright, it must be meat. What if doing that? I don't know. Probably not. I mean, that'd be kind of sick, though. Sick as in disgusting. Not sick as in, like, cool. But, I mean, I wouldn't put it past a major corporation to trick people into saying, hey, this is meat. Because it's not that hard, really, if you think about it. Like, how hard would it possibly be for a major company, think of the major companies that sell, I don't know, burgers and fries, to be like, we're selling meat. Or maybe, like, that's half meat, and that's half, like, paste. I don't know. From a business standpoint, thinking about 2,500 gallons of water, that's pretty expensive, man, to get all that water to a cow. So why not just raise less cows and kind of put a filler in there so that it tastes more, tastes like the same. You can't even tell the taste, but it's just like we don't have to kill as many cows, in turn costing us less money. I mean, from a business standpoint, makes sense. But, I mean, I guess there's regulations and stuff that would prevent that. I don't know much about that. I think I'm just going to post a super long video. I don't really care. So, yeah. To the, like, one person that watches my videos, shout out to Jessi Walker, because she keeps on commenting. But I can't reply, because it's like a Google Plus thing. But, hey, I think you're, like, my first actual, like, fan of my videos, so thank you to you. That's special, you know. I'm calling you out. Hope you watch this video. Shout out to you. But you're the person I'm talking to right now, because you're the person that, like, I don't know if you care, but it seems like you care about, like, what I'm kind of getting at. So here's where I'm at. I don't want to be the guy that's annoying and pushes my beliefs on people, but then again, I want my beliefs to be pushed on people because people don't believe in facts. Because why would you believe in facts? I don't know, man. But I just like see things that's going on and I see where it's headed and I just don't like it. So I want it to change. But I don't know what to do. I mean, I'm gonna be home in my house that I used to live in, that I will not live in again in a few weeks. I'm gonna be working on some stuff, but I don't know. Like, what does it matter if no one listens, or if no one? No one cares. That's where I'm at. 'Cause, like, I get it. Why would you care? I so get where they are coming from. So it's hard for me to say, like, hey, guys, care about this. Because I can just reiterate what all the scientists are saying. I can just reiterate it, you know? But what does it matter? Why would they care? I don't know. Maybe we just have to wait until the stuff that scientists are predicting are going to start happening. But then again, they already are. Here's me repeating some stuff that I read in an article. 2014 was the hottest year ever recorded in history. That's a big deal. 2015, the first 6 months, were even hotter than 2014. That's a big deal. When the climate is producing, or not the climate, when the people that are living inside of the biosphere are producing excess amounts of CO2, it creates a barrier, kind of like a greenhouse. I don't know if you've ever been in a greenhouse. Even in a cold day, greenhouses are hot. Because guess what? When the sun comes in, it enters the greenhouse, and then it gets trapped. So then the sun bounces up and down, and it warms up the greenhouse. And it's really beneficial to people that actually want to have a greenhouse. Maybe if you live in a colder climate, you can plant crops that aren't necessarily well established to survive in colder climates. But since you have a greenhouse, they will be constantly warmed up by the sun. So therefore, you can have plants survive in cold climates because of the greenhouse. That's how greenhouses work. So now, what we're doing is we're creating a global greenhouse where the CO2 acts as the plexiglass or glass or whatever you got going on the roof of your greenhouse. So then the sun comes in, it hits the earth, bounces off, and where usually it would just escape, now we have a greenhouse effect now. So it's just going to stay in our little thing, and it's going to heat everything up. And eventually, everything's going to go apeshit crazy, because when the earth gets too hot, the ice caps will melt, and there's a whole bunch of methane stored in the ice caps, and methane is kind of like CO2 on steroids. So it's just going to speed up the greenhouse effect. And when we hit the point where the methane is all melted up, guess what? It's going to be too late. And then we're going to be like, oh shit, global warming is actually a big deal. Oh, but it's too late now because a whole bunch of methane is in the atmosphere. And methane is like CO2 on steroids. So it's too late. Like, I could say that, and I could say that over and over and over again. Maybe I should, and maybe I will. Alright, let's do this, little kids. Are we gonna do it again? Yes, we are. So, imagine you're in a greenhouse. The sun is gonna come in, alright? And it's gonna hit the walls of the greenhouse, and it's gonna penetrate them, because the greenhouse has clear glass that will be penetrated. Alright? And then the inside of the greenhouse will heat up slightly because the sun is hitting it. But then guess what? Something amazing happens. It bounces up. And usually when the sun's heat would escape, it doesn't because the walls are enclosed. So then the sun comes in and it bounces and it hits the wall of the greenhouse and it bounces back. That's how greenhouses work. If you've ever been in a greenhouse, they're hot. No matter the climate, no matter the weather. It could be 30 degrees outside. The greenhouse will be hotter. No heating needed. So then the sun comes in and it gets trapped and it bounces around. And it heats everything up. And guess what? That's the same thing that's happening in our environment with the CO2 that's being produced by us humans. So the entire atmosphere is acting like a greenhouse. The CO2 is penetrable by the sun. So the sun comes in It bounces off the Earth, and normally it should just escape. But no, since the CO2 acts as like the same exact thing as a greenhouse wall, the sun's rays come in, they try to escape, but the CO2 says, no, no, my friend, and it smacks it back down. And guess what? Then there's a freaking bouncing ball game going on, like one of those little paddle things where the ball is attached to a string and it just goes ba 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 ba. All right? That's what the sun's rays are doing. And it's just heating up the entire globe. And then guess what? It's climate, so that climate is different from weather. So weather varies day to day, but climate is the average of all weather in the entire globe. So when the climate changes, it means that the average of the entire globe's weather is changing. So even though the day might be cold, that doesn't mean the climate isn't getting hotter. It means that the particular day is cold, but the entire average of the entire climate is getting hotter. And we have recorded this because we can record weather day to day and then put them in our little magical computer devices and record and say, put in the average and say, tell the computer, what's the average weather of the entire year? And then from year to year, we can see, oh my gosh, the climate is rising. It's getting hotter, you know? And guess what? The scariest part is when the ice caps melt. There's ice caps at the top and the bottom of the Earth, and they're just full of a whole bunch of frozen solid ice. And guess what's in them? There's this thing called methane. Methane is like CO2 that was hitting the gym every single day for its entire life, just pumping iron, and it was eating a whole bunch of steak and meat and chicken and rice and whatnot, and just got super big and buff. And that's what methane is. It's like CO2 that's all buff. And methane smacks the sun rays down with like 2 hands, alright? And it just goes, no, no, no. Alright, so the sun comes in and methane, because the ice caps are melting, is slowly getting released. And the methane is so much more better at being creating a greenhouse effect than the CO2, that the cycle of reactions to the slowly heating climate slowly starts picking up the pace and heats quicker and quicker and quicker because of the methane. And then guess what? There's going to be things that aren't going to work anymore. I'm talking environmental processes. So let's say a certain species cannot survive in hot climates. Let's say they have been adapted to cold climates, so they can only survive in the cold. They don't know how to survive in the warmness of warm, you know. They've evolved to have like super thick fur, and if you don't believe in evolution, then God put them on the planet to have super thick fur and to be living in cold weather. Even if you don't believe in evolution, it applies both ways. If God did it, evolution did it, who cares? It got done. There's certain animals that have a whole bunch of blubber and a whole bunch of stuff to keep them warm, because they're supposed to be in cold climates. And when those climates start getting hotter and hotter and hotter, these animals aren't going to be able to adapt quick enough. They're not like us. We can put on a jacket or take it off. They've got the blubber. They don't have jackets. They can't just take them off. So let's say an animal that is adapted to all these colder climates tries to get to a colder climate, but there is none left. Then the animals will just start dying. And when one animal dies, the animal that eats that animal also dies. And when that animal dies, the animal that eats that animal also dies. And when things start dying, things start going extinct, then the system that the Earth has been creating and been inhabiting for hundreds and hundreds of years, if you believe in God, then it's been just a few thousand years. And if you believe in evolution, then it's been a few million years. It doesn't matter. Either way, these animals are going to die. And when certain animals die, other animals die. And when animals when animals start dying, then the natural systems of plants that are supposed to be eaten by the animals, and the natural systems of a whole bunch of different natural things that go on in the earth aren't going to work anymore. And guess what? We are one of them. We can't keep on doing this because it's not going to work. There's going to reach a point where it's not going to work anymore. So human beings, me and you, are not going to be able to survive in a climate where everything's just dying. And I could say this over and over and over again, but what's the point if no one listens to me? I'm begging you. I'm begging you. I'm not asking for you to do something crazy. I'm not asking you you to strip down naked and run out into the middle of like everything and just proclaim, I'm free, I'm free, I'm free. But if you want to do that, that's fine. I'm not asking for you to do anything drastic like that. What I'm asking for you to do is to care. Simple. I just want you to care. I want you to take in, sometimes, even when things don't make sense, I want you to try to think about them. And think, is this person lying to me? Or is it possible this person just wants to help me? Is it possible that the person cares about me and wants me to learn? Because I can spend my entire life trying to invent something, trying to create things that would help the environment, that would help this process from slowing down. But the fact of the matter is, if people don't care, then we're doomed. Eventually, it could be 100 years. It could be 50 years. It could be 10 years. Eventually, things are going to stop working. We don't live in a place of infinite resources. We can't just create food out of nothing. It's just the facts. When things start dying, it's not going to be good. All I do, honestly, all I do these days is think of ways I could help this slow down or stop or even reverse this system. All I do is think about those things. All I can do is think about those things. I feel it's like my responsibility to think about those things. But if I'm the minority, and if I try my entire life, but no one listens to me, then what's the point? Why should I even think about those things? Why should I even try to create those things? If this is truly the way that you want to live, if you are accepting your fate and realizing that it's not going to last, the way that you're living is not going to last, then maybe I should too. Maybe I should just give up. Because I think I have a lot of really great ideas. I think I have a lot of really cool ways of protecting the environment. But maybe I should give up all of those thoughts and hopes and dreams. And maybe I should just give in and just live my life like the rest. Maybe I should just not care like the rest. Why should I? I spend my entire life caring, but no one else does. Why? Why am I on this earth? Why was I born? All I do is care. All I do is think and care, but no one listens. So what's the point? Why does it matter? Why does it matter? I can only handle so much. I'm only 18. I've not experienced that much rejection. But I'm seeing it coming. A lot of other people have experienced the same rejection. All they do is care their entire life, and they just get slapped in the face constantly. They just keep on caring. And caring because they know it's the right thing to do. But all they do is get mocked. They get bullied. The people that care are probably the most unhappy people. It doesn't make any sense, but it's true. The people that truly care understand that sometimes there's just nothing you can do. I can do this my entire life. I can freaking beg. I can cry. I can get on my knees and I could beg to every single individual and say, "Hey, listen to me. I know some stuff and I could help you." But what does it matter? What does it matter if they don't care? They're just going to go about their life in the same way. They can't be inspired by anything. No matter what. I could make a movie. I could write a song. I could paint some stuff. And I could try to inspire people. But what's the point? If no one's gonna care. If no one's gonna be inspired by anything ever. If they're just gonna continue to go nowhere. Living their loopy-doopy life. Their repetitive, monotonous life. Because they were taught that this is the way to live. So they understand that this is the way to live. They can't be inspired to think any other way. They can't be inspired at all. Love is the weirdest thing that I've ever contemplated. But truly, there's either, I can only imagine two scenarios. One, I love every single human being. Not even that. I love every single soul on this planet with my entire heart. Or two, I don't care and I have no emotion and everything is just fake. I'd like to believe that this is the truth. And frankly, I do believe that this is the truth. But what if it's not? What if my love won't be reciprocated? What if I can pour my heart and soul out to someone and they will respond with a simple "great speech," and then go about their life in the same way? What if I can confess something? Something that I've been scared to talk about. What if I have emotions and thoughts that I want to share, but I know no one cares. No one wants to listen. Except for Jessi Walker. Thanks, Jessi Walker. Honestly, you've helped me so much. Honestly, like, you've commented on my videos like twice. But like I see these like small number of views and that means nothing. Like I see like a like and that means nothing to me at least. But I see this person who I honestly don't know. Like maybe she follows me on like social media or something, but like I don't know who this person is. And it brings me such joy to see that she comments and she cares about the things that I'm talking about. So it's like, oh my gosh, how could I be sad when I know at least there's someone out there who cares? Oh my gosh, I just went through a full freaking cycle of emotions, but man, I'm really laying myself out there because there's no point in hiding, honestly. It's either all or none. I either express myself or I don't and become similar. And I fear nothing more than becoming similar. Well, I guess just grab some sticks and put some birds on it. Peace. Love and happiness.